Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Youth Talk. Thank you for watching. I'm your host, Sarah Hidushi. As 2024 comes to an end, it is important to look at what we have accomplished this year. And a folder that interested a lot of you guys was the startup and tech world, and which is why we chose this folder to talk about all the progress that Algeria have made in this domain. Of course, with our guest Karim Brouri. Like we usually do, let's start by welcoming our guest. Hello, Karim.
Hi, good morning, and thanks for having me with you here.
Thank you for accepting our invitation. So would you like to start by introducing yourself to everyone watching so they would know that you have the right outlook on startups in Algeria?
Yeah, thanks, Sarah. So always happy to share a moment here at the A6 channel for UNTV. And of course, speaking English on this channel, it's an honor for me, and always happy to see things going in the right way. At the beginning of my path, I'm an engineer. So I started my journey in Polytechnic School of Algiers, and I had the chance to continue my study in France, in another technical school, which is l'ENSAM, l'école Arts et Métiers. And I started to work in consultancy in my field at the beginning. And maybe 4 or 5 years after, I come back to the country. I'm in Leblad, and I start my journey working in the EPC field, engineering, procurement, and construction. Things happen. I mean, the life.
Life evolves.
Yeah, from that field, I become a trader. I worked 3 years as a trader in the oil and gas industry, and after that, I decided to create my own company 10 years ago. Working on engineering and advancement. And at the beginning, one of my aim was to share my experience, all what I had the chance to learn, to test, to have as knowledge, from the field. And of course, I'm older than you, so I'm a youth of the street of Algiers. I start my life when I was a teenager in the end of the 80s and beginning of the 90s, and everyone knows the 90s, what does it mean in Algeria.
Yes.
So when I was 20, I felt that I need to give back to the society because I had too much luck, too much chance. So from that point, when I created the company, I decided to create an incubator to share knowledge with the youth around business, around technology, around how to pitch yourself, to pitch your business, your idea. And things start like this. A first workshop, a first training, or 2 guys, 3, 500, 1,000. Since I think the 7 years, we had the chance to train around 3K youth in every side of the country, and more than that, we focused on the southern part of the country. And at the beginning of 2020, now in Algeria we have a ministry dedicated to startups, knowledge economy, and micro enterprise. So they create some organization to work on the building of the ecosystem, and I found myself
as an ecosystem builder.
So when you ask me what you need to write under my name, so it's the people saying that you are an ecosystem builder. It's not.
It's a title that people have given you.
Yeah, you cannot give it to yourself. Two titles: a builder or an expert. You need your peer saying that for you about you. So I found myself now in the Algerian Startup Label Committee, which is part of the Ministry of Economy, Knowledge Economy and Startups. And I have the chance to see thousand files and demand around innovative projects and startups, and even incubators, which give me the chance to be like a 360 degrees, eyes, the big brother watching you, and we are seeing how the ecosystem is changing and things is happening.
Okay, so speaking of the ecosystem, I think when you talk about the startup ecosystem in Algeria, it was still a work in progress. And when we look at the progress that we have made in 2024, what do you think the major keys or maybe the major advancement that were made in the startup and tech world in Algeria were?
Look, first of all, it was a story of just few people in the country working on the startup ecosystem. For example, one of the main events known since I think now 14 or 15 years, it started in 2011-12. It was the Algeria 2.0, established by Karim and it was just a place speaking about technology and how to develop technology in business, and we start to speak about startups, and this is it. And after that, in the beginning of the period between 2K14, 15, 16, we saw the student club creating a lot of events around the startup weeks, TED Talks, Wiki Stage, and they start to create this dynamics inside the universities and high school of engineering. But at that time, the states, wasn't involved in the building of the startup ecosystem and even the technology one,
right.
Because they are working together. But you need to understand also that a startup is not for sure a technology.
A tech startup, yeah.
You can be another
in another field.
So in 2K20, we had the decision that the state say, okay, we'll take in charge to set up an ecosystem, because even if we were working on it, of these people starting in the early of 2000. You cannot build an ecosystem without the state, because you have, the rules, ecosystem,
regulations, laws,
the
you
law,
need the state
regulation.
for that, yeah.
So this is one of the main change we had. Starting from that point, when we speak about startups and technology, you need to build competencies and to build capacities around people, first of all. So you saw that we create new schools and new programs in university. We are working a lot, talking a lot, about the 1275, the 1275 decree, which is a decision in the universities, made by the...
That you can graduate with a startup project instead of a
normal just a
project,
scientific project. This created dynamics. So if we had to take a picture right now, I think the shift is that now the youth understood that they have the
access
ID. First they have the right ID. No, at the beginning people think that they are not creative. The ID is just a normal ID, and secondly, this youth was thinking that it's just maybe in the universities it's just a story of academic works and you make your thesis and this is it. Now they understood that they can transform it to a business, and they learned the basic, which is the business model. So they understood that they have to create a business model around the ID and to pitch that business model. Now it's okay. We have this youth thinking like this with the regular thinking, and they are building a business model, but now we need to go further, because they need to build a sharp, as I used to call it, like a sharp and sharp business model. Because when you speak about startups, because we are speaking about startups and technology, you go overseas, and when you are overseas, so it's mainly the problem that you will face big pressure from la concurrence,
competition.
Competition. And starting from that point, you need to be sharp and sharp.
Yeah.
So now we need to push the youth to build now not just a business model, but a competition-focused one to go overseas. Second point, of course, when you speak about startup and technology, you speak about money and fundraising. And what we have today, let's say we have three new tools. We can use it to. It's beginning now, but we have the regulation, we have the things, we have the organization, we have everything. So first of all, you need a VC or business angel network, but here a VC, which is a venture capital organization, which the aim of this organization is to give money and take part of your company and take the risk. The normal bank are not working.
They wouldn't invest in a startup.
It's normal because banks they're not made and
not very risk oriented.
Yeah. No. So starting from that point, we create in Algeria now. The ecosystem and the government create the Algeria Startup Fund.
Startup Fund, yes.
And second part, we have the crowdfunding regulation. So today you have the right, for example, to create a platform online as a crowdfunding platform, and any person having an idea of the business can put the idea on the platform and pitch it, and people can invest money on the project, and we can go around to 20 million dinars of invest. It's starting also, but we have everything, regulation. And the third thing, and very important and interesting, which is the open innovation tax credit, which said that big companies, making money and having a gross profit, they can use the taxation on that profit to invest in startup or innovative project.
Right.
Of course, all these points are made by one thing, which is the label. The startup label or innovative project, because to go inside all this fundraising and fund regulation or instrument or mechanism, you need at the beginning to have the label. So we create this first layer. But I think when we speak about the state, we speak about the president. The president say it many times. So it's not the rule of the state to do things like that. Because the
just
state,
how things evolve.
it's like the first Manivel round. You need to start it. So the government is pushing like that, but now it's the private sector to take in hand all these things and invest in youth. We need to believe in the youth. We need to believe in our capacities. We need to believe that we can go overseas. We need to believe that we can be creative, innovative. You need to believe, because the first aim is to create the first champions. Let's say 5, 6, 10 champions. It's like a war. It's like a gladiator. So you need to have your first champions, because when we will create that champions, I think in Nigeria today, if you will ask you to point some startups, you will maybe point 3 or 4 startups, and maybe some of them will not be Algerian, and there is only one known. Will not make advertisement, but the only one who got 200 million fundraising from overseas. All we know that VTC startup. That VTC startup is the only maybe champion.
The major one who made it.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
Sadly, it's not enough, yes. But Karim, you brought up a good and interesting point. You said that when it comes to startups, we end up talking about money, we end up talking about taxes. Another problem that I think was kind of solved this year by creating the auto-entrepreneur status and the card is the problem that freelancers had. A lot of youth today work through the internet. They make money through the internet with a lot of different new jobs that didn't exist before. So this card and this status has helped them to make their situation more legal, more, I think, more clear, per se. What would you say about that?
Let me give you first the success of this agency. We are speaking about the Algerian National Auto-Entrepreneur Agency.
Yes.
They start at the end of 2022.
Exactly.
And 2023. Sorry, yeah,
yes.
2023. And we had the regulation in 2023. We had the law at the middle of 2023, the executive taxes on the end, let's say, and the creation and the starting point in the beginning of 2024. So this is the first year.
New, yes.
First of all, it's the first time, maybe or one of the first time, that we had create a government agency without money, without team, without walls. I mean, it was the ministry teams with the law, of course, and just an idea to create it online, fully digital. It's the first time. So this is the first success for us. And of course, to let you understand, maybe it's not shown directly when you go online, because people need to understand that it's the first time we have a government services fully online. It's fully online. You can create your card, you can choose, create your card, have the card, create your own tax number, your security service, security social, security save security online. Everything is online.
Retirement, pension, everything is there.
Yeah, and this is a big success, because usually to create an agency, we need to create first walls, people, organization. It's
you
money.
Go and you give them
it's
your
money,
papers,
and after that you need to go papers.
Come back tomorrow.
And now it's paperless. So it's a big success at this policy stage. Now let's speak about youth. I mean, it's not a story of youth. It's a story of people who have knowledge, and they can win money with that. This is the story. It's open from 16 to the end of your life.
True.
But of course, and saying things is that we are speaking about freelancer, consultant,
designers, things like that.
But we are speaking also about the informal economy and the informal part of our we used to say now the non-C economy, no-C economy. So starting from that point, the auto-entrepreneur was this first experience for youth working in the illegal way. That's between brackets. So,
it was illegal. Now it's legal.
It means that you can have the legal right,
status,
the legal status. And of course, you will have, of course, a legal situation with the imposition, the tax. I mean, but also to have your own insurance, social insurance. If you are sick, if you are, I mean, you
insurance,
have
it's important.
So it's very important. Second part, the aim also, we know that many youth like you and younger than you sometimes, they can be developer, code guys or code women on internet, can be community manager, can be copywriter, can be project manager, PO, product owners, business owners on internet, working for big company around the world. So they get money in euro, the US dollar.
Yeah, and they have to justify it somehow.
So they need to make many, strange,
tricks to get it.
Yeah, to get it. So the idea also it's to open a legal and right way to do it with the banks. So today it's starting. The auto-entrepreneur is right. You can get your card, you can invoice, you can work.
Yeah, everything is good.
Everything, and it's cheap. Let's give some numbers. At the maximum amount you can do with your auto-entrepreneur statute is 5 million dinars, which we say in our usual speaking, it's 500 million centimes. Let me say it in Arabic. So with the 5 million dinars, you have to pay at the end of the years 24,000 as insurance part and 24,000 as tax. So at the end you have to pay 50,000, which is 5 million centimes. So
compared to the amount you made.
Yeah, you can win 5 million dinars, and you have just to pay 50,000 dinars, which is the maximum. a normal youth like you, 5 million, it's a lot of money. If you change it to a salary, a normal one, you will understand that.
Yeah.
If you take 5 million divided by 12 months, you will understand that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money,
And
yeah.
it's the cheapest first time that we have the cheapest index taxes in Algeria. It's around, the tax is 0.5%, 0.5%.
Yes, it was actually a main selling point to the youth who were present when the platform was first launched, and it encouraged them to actually go and sign up and get their card. The process was very easy. They were able to register from the first try, so everything was clear. So I would say the auto entrepreneur agency, the card, the law were a success.
It's today the numbers are saying that we had at the October or November month around 20k auto entrepreneurs in Nigeria in less than 1 year.
That's amazing, and all of them are registered, and we can keep tabs on them and know in what fields they're working. It's important to have this data also for the ministry. Another event that was very popular with the youth was the African Startup Conference, which we had the chance to meet a lot of African leaders, a lot of major startups, major companies, investors who met the Algerian youth. Can you tell us about it?
This is so it was in the beginning of December, and this is the third edition. So first of all, مبروك على الجزائر, because this is the third edition, and
we got to host it.
Yeah, and we create the event. This is the third year where we are hosting the event, and it's very important when you create a big event like that to carry on. So even in some time, one edition from the other, it can less.
Could be better.
We need to carry. It's like that you create a big event on the international stage. The African Startup Conference this year was also around. The numbers is around let's say 20 to 25k visitors coming from Algeria, of course, but all around the other African country of our continent, and it was also under the artificial intelligence umbrella. Speaking about, and the aim is also, as you was mentioning, that to make it like a platform. To let first the investors, companies, big companies, technology focusing people meet the inventors, the startups, the entrepreneurs, the auto entrepreneurs. So at the end of the thing, you can say that it's like a wedding. It's the ecosystem wedding. So surely this is the feeling of people like me. We are years and years trying to build the ecosystem, and this is the first time where we have our own real show off. When I'm there, I'm like a star. I know everyone.
You know each other,
and it's good because really like a wedding. Because when I meet people there, maybe 1 year I didn't saw them, and the last time it was in the second edition. So it's very important to create a moment like that, because first it's work. It's part of the work to help youth to keep the positive attitude and positive energy, because entrepreneurship is not a easy pathway. It's very hard, very deceptive, very emotional, changing. So you need to share with people like your peer your problem, because a peer can tell you it's normal, don't be afraid, you will see it's just a phase, you're gonna go over that point, and failures is normal. I think it's one of the only moment when I used to speak with youth about failures and saying, no, it's normal to fail. Don't panic. It's normal, because it's part of the learning in the entrepreneur pathway. This is part. The second part is very interesting, because now the African Startup Conference is also a decision maker place for the continent. So the last year they were speaking about how to create a platform for the youth to move in the continent, because we are speaking about brain bleeding, and all the youth like you are leaving the country, and all the African you are leaving the African
True,
continent.
and there was even talk about starting an African startup fund, so
Yeah,
like something that
this
can
is one
unite
of
us
the
all, yes.
announcement of this year's.
This year's.
It's speaking about, it's saying that okay, if you need to see the youth staying on the
You need
continent,
to invest in them.
yeah, and secondly, if you need, you want them create tech startups, big startups, intelligence, artificial quantum computing, things like that. We need to be the first to invest in our youth. So this is one of the point over the third edition. So this is it. The Algerian startup, the African startup conference is the place where decision maker for all the continent can take a real decision. So they were around 45 ministers and delegated from minister to meet our minister and to decide all together with at the end with new decision to build our now continental ecosystem. Yesterday I was in another event speaking about innovation. One of the point when you speak about innovation, you speak about people. We were speaking about Silicon Valley, and in Silicon Valley they spent around $5 to $6 billion, between $5 and $6 billion around the Silicon Valley to do what? To make it cute, nice, beautiful to young like you.
Attractive
to stay,
to
yeah,
the
to be
youth, yes.
attractive, and when you establish in Silicon Valley, you would like to pass all your life there. So this is part of the exercise, and you understand that this part is not you and me. It's a policy stage, a government stage. You need a lot of money. So today, maybe a young girl like you, a young woman like you can be attracted by lion in Kenya, or more than big. Graziel. I don't know, in New York or in Doha.
I think our generation has a new idea on the way they want to live their lives, but it's important to meet, experts like you and world leaders and successful people in the field to get inspired. And I think we have concluded the major events.
Yeah.
We also needed to talk about the entrepreneurial week, which has been all throughout the country. But I think we've covered the key points. Thank you, Karim. Before we conclude today's episode, what could you say we could look forward to in 2025 when it comes to the startup world in Algeria?
Many things are on the way, but I think that we will see new fundraising invest organization like VC appear. It will be a reality, because don't forget that the president asked the ecosystem to build around 20K startup and tech companies for the 5 new years. So this is our new challenge.
Goal. Yes. Thank you so much, Karim, for being our guest today, for giving us all this important information. We hope to see you very soon to talk about another event, maybe in 2025, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We have concluded today's episode. We spoke about the highlights when it comes to the startup world in Algeria. See you in another one.